Here's a disease every beginner developer gets. It starts innocently. You learn JavaScript, then you discover Python, then Rust, then Go, and suddenly it's 3 a.m. and you're watching a 47-minute video called Why Haskell Will Change the Way You Think. Brother, you were trying to build a to-do app. What happened? Some developers collect programming languages like Pokemon. I know JavaScript, Python, C++, Java, Rust, Go, Kotlin, Swift. Okay, and what can you actually build? I made a calculator in 7 languages. Congratulations. You are now qualified to work at Calculator Incorporated. The problem isn't learning multiple languages. The problem is learning languages instead of learning programming. Variables are still variables, loops are still loops, functions are still functions, and data structures are still data structures. The syntax just changes. In JavaScript, it's console.log hello. In Python, it's print hello. In Rust, well, you first need to negotiate with the compiler first, but fundamentally, you're still telling the computer, please print this stupid sentence. And this is where beginners waste months. They keep restarting the tutorial. New language, new framework, new course, new YouTube thumbnail with a guy pointing at a laptop like he just discovered electricity. They learn 20% of each technology and become an expert in absolutely nothing. You don't need 5 programming languages. You need one language you're actually good at. Because depth beats variety when you're starting out. If you're learning web development, you can get incredibly far with JavaScript or TypeScript. You can build websites, API, full-stack applications, mobile apps, desktop apps, and even backend services. You don't need to randomly learn C++ because someone on Reddit said, real programmers use C++. Cool. Real programmers also use assembly. Should you start there? Probably not. And this doesn't mean other languages are useless. Python is fantastic for data science, automation, AI, and scripting. C and C++ are important for systems programming, embedded development, game engines, and performance-critical software. Rust is great for memory safety and low-level performance. Go is excellent for backend infrastructure and cloud services. Swift is useful for native Apple applications. The key is learn the language because you have a problem that requires it, not because Twitter told you it's the language of the future, because the language of the future changes every 6 months. Remember when everyone was learning blockchain, then Web3, then Rust, then AI? Now apparently everyone is building agents that autonomously book your dentist appointment, and somehow you're still trying to understand promises. This is why I think developers should stop asking, what programming language should I learn next? And start asking, what can I build next? That question changes everything, because projects force you to learn the stuff that actually matters. You build an API and suddenly you need to understand HTTP. You build a database application and suddenly SQL matters. You build authentication and suddenly security matters. You deploy something and suddenly you discover that Linux has opinions. That's real learning. Not watching Python full course 2026, 18 hours, beginner to expert while eating chips in bed. You are not becoming an expert, you are becoming really good at having YouTube open. And here's the biggest trap. Tutorial completion feels like progress. You finish a course and think, I know React. Then you open a blank project and suddenly your brain goes, would you like to purchase React Pro? You don't need another tutorial. You need to struggle. Build something without knowing exactly how to build it. Google things, read documentation, break your code, fix it. Build something ugly, then build something slightly less ugly. That's how you actually develop skill. So stop trying to become the human version of Stack Overflow's language filter. You don't need to know JavaScript, Python, Rust, Go, C++, Java, Kotlin, Swift, and whatever language just won programming language of the month. Pick one. Build something, break it, fix it, build something harder. Then, when another language actually becomes useful, learn it. Because the goal isn't to collect programming languages. The goal is to become someone who can sit down at a blank computer and actually build something. And if you can do that with one language, you're already ahead of the guy who knows 12 languages and has only built 12 calculators. You don't need to learn everything today. Just keep building, keep getting stuck, and keep figuring things out. Because eventually, you'll look back at the code you once thought was impossible and realize you actually became the developer you were trying so hard to become. And honestly, to me, that's the coolest thing ever. Before you go, if you're building a website, AI app, or any side project, make sure to secure your domain early before someone else grabs it. I recommend Namecheap. They've been my go-to for domains, hosting, SSL, and more. Check out the link in the description for exclusive Namecheap deals. And that's it for this video. If you found it helpful, leave a like and subscribe for more videos on web development, AI, and the latest developer tools. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.